When you're building a soundscape for a film, it's important to keep your work organized because there's a lot of work to be done, and you've got to be able to approach it in a real systematic way in order to not go out of your mind. The way I like to do it is I start with what I call these broad strokes or big strokes. What I mean by that are sounds that go on for a long period of time that don't really change. A good example is the sound of wind outside your window or something. There's sample libraries that you can license these sounds from, and they could have 50 minutes of just listening to different kinds of wind, wispy wind, loud stormy wind. I mean, just every kind of wind that you could ever imagine you'll have available to you. And they're pretty much in large chunks. So as opposed to footsteps, which you would need to program individually bit by bit, you can throw a 4.5-minute wind track down, and you've had a lot of work. So these are the sorts of things I begin with. In this specific scene from Two Front Teeth that I'm going to be able to play some audio for you from, I'm going to have some different kinds of sound. I'm going to start out with them being loud so you can hear them, and then we're going to quickly just have it go to the correct volume and see a little bit how these things fit together. But these are all big stroke kind of sounds that we're going to talk about. So I'm going to turn around just for a second and push play. This first thing is a thing called room tone. Now, room tone is just what you would hear in a room if you closed your eyes and a microphone was rolling, and it's hard to even explain what it is. It's just there's little subtle things about a house that sound a certain way when you're in a room. So that's what that is. Not particularly interesting, but it's there. We're going to add a gas furnace. I figure we're in the East Coast in this scene, in a house that looks like it must be cold. I assume that there must be some kind of furnace going. It's going to mute that. Let's get it silent. Now here is street noise. I get that they're in a residential area. Get a recording of cars driving by. This is too loud, but again, everything is turned up so you can hear it. But you can see this is the sound of cars driving by. I'm going to go and mute that. Nothing on that track. This is a clock. I figured that they're in a house. I wanted to add a little bit of more interest, and I threw something like this in. Now, give me a second here. I'm going to go ahead and stop this, turn everything on at once from here, and get everything playing at the right level, and I'll give you a sense of how everything comes together. I'm going to turn up the volume so you can hear a little bit more. So we'll go and stop there, but you should be able to hear a lot of these big strokes. Traffic, wind, the clock ticking, the furnace, all of these things coming together to create the idea that you're in a room in a house on the East Coast.